So welcome everybody. This is an all-round practice today, and at the time of recording it is very hot, so we don't want to increase our heat. We would ideally like to cool it down, but really as well, as yoga teaches us, meeting ourselves where we are. So that might be hot and a little bit frazzled. We're going to start lying down, but before you do, there might be some props that you can perhaps grab and get hold of. I'm lucky enough to have 2 yoga bricks. You might have 2 books, ideally something that you can put behind the back of your heart, which is where we're going to start. So sometimes I say 2 soup cans would do, but that would be a little bit uncomfortable. Also a strap. Now you might not have a strap, but you might have the dressing gown cord or a tea towel, something that you can put around your feet. We're not going to use it a lot. Other than that, there might be props that you quite enjoy, like cushions, sofa cushions, the really big ones, bolsters, whatever it is to make your life more comfortable. And then when you're ready, we're going to start lying down. And this is where we might use the brick. So we're going to take the brick or possibly a cushion rolled up, and if you haven't got anything really, of course, don't worry. But we're going to lie down with the brick just behind the back of our heart. So that's our shoulder blades. The armpits are roughly just above the brick. And then just make sure that really is comfortable, because we're going to be here for a while. We're going to take our arms out wide. So effectively what we're looking for is an opening across the upper chest. And I think there is a phrase that comes from wartime: make, do and mend. So if you haven't got a brick or a cushion, just don't worry, see what you have got. And let us lie down now with our eyes softly closed. And take a full deep breath in through the nose. And as you breathe out, relax everything, the face, the jaw, the body, as if you're just dropping onto whatever it is that is supporting you. And there's a poem that goes back to the 14th or 15th century by Tsongkhapa that says the human body at peace with itself is more precious than the rarest gem. And ultimately, we're trying to get to a place of peace through our yoga practice. We might be attracted to the practice for our firm buttocks or long hamstrings, but ultimately we return because of the sense of peace that we get. So allow your to-do list to be pushed to one side. Just let this be time that you've carved out to find some peace. And let's begin with a 2-part breath into the center of the chest. So as you breathe in, pause at the center of the heart. Breathe in a little bit more on top. And breathe out, one long, full, deep breath out as you relax and release all tension from the jaw. So a good breath to tease open lung tissue. 2 parts in, 1 part out. Breathe into the heart. Pause. Breathe in some more. And then a really long exhale out. Do that for about 3 to 4 rounds, just acknowledging all the thoughts that might be in your head at the moment, but not giving them much airspace. Sure, they're there, but we don't have to listen to them at the moment. And often what steals that sense of peace is the way we think. So just noticing that link between our thoughts and what we create in our bodies. So just visualize that space just beneath your breastbone. We call it the heart chakra in yoga, a center of love, compassion. And feel that sense of expansion. Just 2 more rounds of breath. And now remove whatever it is from beneath the back of the shoulders and just come to rest again, this time in what we call constructive rest. The knees are wide, the feet are flat. You might already notice more space in the heart. And we're going to come to what we call samavritti now, which is an equal breath. So breathing in And breathing out. Whatever your count is, it might be for 4, it might be for 5. Just make the breath more even. And consider the word softening as you repeat it to yourself. Breathing in. As you breathe out, just say soften or softening. See how that word lands in your nervous system. And the Dalai Lama said, in every interaction we have, we either soften or we harden. So can we explore today how we can stay soft when things might get challenging? And there's no better way to challenge that, I think, than a hamstring stretch. So let's extend the right leg up towards the sky now and take your strap, your tea towel, whatever it is, to the ball of the foot where the toes join the foot. And just start by really spreading your toes. Press the heel up as the toes come towards your face. Tiny bend in the knee, but not too much. And maybe you extend the left leg. Breathing in. Breathing out, softening. And notice already if you've now hardened, because that's often what we do. Slide those hands away so the shoulders are relaxed and just slightly bend the right knee and then extend it up. And what we feel in our body often manifests in the mind. So can we stay soft now to this pose that might be challenging? Because that's the reason we're doing it, to see what we do. Very quickly, we can go from a state of peace to feeling murderous. So just notice that. And now keep that leg up as you press the heel away. See if you can draw the leg a little closer to you. Keep pressing into the left heel and notice any tension now. That's the teeth, the jaw, the face. We're simply taking 3 even breaths in and 3 even breaths out. And again, are you adding tension? Can you say softening and see what that means in the body? And now keeping a hold of the strap with both of the straps with the right hand, bring your right leg out to the side, press your left hand on your left hip point to keep it there. And again, we're not looking to add tension, so just allow the leg to go where it wants to and breathe deeply. So again, when we're challenged, we shorten our breath, we harden up, and that is the body's stress response that then releases chemicals. So we change our body's internal chemistry when we're stressed, even by thoughts. Now let's extend that right leg towards the sky. Release the strap for now and hold on to either your big toe or your ankle as you come into our half happy baby. The right knee comes towards the earth. Keep extending into the left leg, and you might now do little circles. Remember that human body at peace with itself is more precious than the rarest gem. So we don't have to add tension, tightness. And now bend the left knee as we take what we call a supine pigeon. We're flexing the right foot, take it just below the left knee, and maybe draw the left thigh in towards you and do the hint of a rock. So we're taking our time, we're not adding to the heat, just really slow it all down. And now take that left foot down, extend the left leg away, and let the right leg come to join it. And just maybe you notice the right leg is longer than the left leg. So breathe in. Very short space of time, we've created a difference. So never underestimate that. One more deep breath. And now let's balance our legs out. So we're going to extend the left leg up without tensing the face, because we know what we're doing now. We're spreading those left toes. We're pressing the left heel towards the sky. Maybe we bring the left leg towards us just a little bit more, guiding it. And then we find the breath again and we keep it so smooth and full 3 times. And Pema Chodron, the monk, said that if we approach our yoga or meditation practice as an attempt to better ourselves, to change ourselves, to fix ourselves, it's just a form of violence. So the peace is in accepting what we are right now, how we are right now. Let's extend that left leg out to the left, press onto the right hip, and just extend that leg out. And most of us don't like our hamstrings, so notice all those silly judgments that we make. A few more breaths. As a teacher of mine once said, we never get to our deathbed wishing our hamstrings were different, but we can get caught up in that in the moment. One more breath. And let's come into happy baby again. So half a happy baby. We can ditch the strap for now. Let's take the left knee, bend it, ease it to the outside. And again, you might do a little bend and straighten there. What helps you feel ease in this human body? This vehicle for our lifetime. So we're deliberately tensing and putting stress into our body today through these shapes so that we can learn to resist that, to not react. So let's come into that supine pigeon now. We flex the left foot just below the right knee and we draw our arms through the little gap. And then we move a little bit side to side. And just notice every time we catch ourselves drifting into thoughts and what those thoughts are. Are they kind thoughts or are they mean thoughts? So let's take a full happy baby now, holding both of the big toes or the ankles. What's important is that the head is down and the hips are down. It's all about opening up the legs, easing into the hip points. Just sway, just what a happy baby would do. And then take those feet together as you make a little diamond shape. Hold on to the little toe side of the feet. Bring those heels in towards your groin. Again, have you now tensed? Can you just say softening as you exhale? And use the breath to bring that quality of softness. And then we're going to lift the legs up. We're going to crisscross the ankles. So we're going to come up and down the spine a couple of times. And eventually we're coming onto all fours. Up and over. And take a moment to land. Be really mindful and slow. We're not in a rush. The hands are under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips, perhaps even go a little wider. And just start to inhale as you lift your heart, drop the belly. As you exhale, tuck the chin and round into the upper back. And just tap into what makes the body feel good. So it might be that you turn this into a sway, into a circle. Just stay mindful as the breath leads you. If your mind is scattered today, take your awareness to the tip of the nose, as if you're drawing a line in front of you, and then lift the nose up, and then roll back. And then come to what we call a neutral spine, where we lift the tummy up. We're going to take that right leg back now behind you, toes are down, press into the heel and lengthen the spine forward. And then come forward and back a little bit. So your first option is to stay here. Otherwise, we're lifting up the right leg and we're taking the right leg behind you. Look at the right heel, sorry. And then take the leg out to the side as you look at the right big toe. So moving the neck, the leg, just easing into the body. Again, try not to tense. We're really moving slowly. Next time the right leg is out, we're going to take it all the way down to the ground. So I'm going to face the camera. And then again, another pose that might add tension. So try not to react to that. So let's come forward and let's come back. Let's come forward. Notice as we sink back to the heel, it feels a lot tighter. We might stay there now and come onto forearms. So breathe into that feeling of tightness all down the right inner seam of the leg and press the little toe down. 2 full, deep, smooth breaths. Softening as you exhale. Notice if you are softening. And then rise up into a pose called gaze. You sweep the arms up towards the sky, reach into your fingertips, take a huge breath in. And as you exhale, right hand comes down. And like a pendulum, we're going to come up as we inhale. And then other side as the left finger's down. So use your core strength now to lift you up on inhale. Exhale, side. Inhale, exhale to the side. One more time, breathing in, we rise up. And this one will stay down. So left fingertips or flat hand, maybe we lift the right leg up. And then just little pulses there to stretch the hip, strengthen the hip, sorry. Now remember, it's all about staying soft. And let's come all the way back down again. So coming onto all fours, notice the difference in sides. Do little swirls and sways, nice and slow. So the heat in the body we can use to kind of get into deeper stretches. So let's take the left leg back now. Breathing in, the left leg comes back. Sorry, toes down first. Press the heels down, gaze forward. Just forward and back, stretching out the calf muscles. When we lose that softness of breath, we're losing the benefits of the practice. So staying soft. If we're not breathing well, we might as well go and have a pint of lager. So for the good it's doing us. So let's lift that left leg up, take it to the side and then out to the other side. Just move the head just to ease into the neck. Nice, very, very slow movements. And the next time the left leg comes out to the side, we plant it down, the whole foot comes down and we sway forward and back. So in traditional Chinese medicine, meridian theory, this is our kidney meridian we're stretching and getting into now. And they're very important in regulating the sweat that we produce, the waters in the body. So let's come all the way down to the forearms, maybe, without losing that softness of breath. One more breath, your deepest one left. Yeah, notice where the mind is, keep the spine long. And breathe in as we rise up. So we're taking those arms up so high now to the sky. Reach into your fingers as you breathe in. And as you exhale, tilt towards that long leg. With the breath, inhale, we rise. Exhale to the other side. So 2 more moving ones like that, coming from your center, your core, rather than using the swing of the hands to lift you. Slowing down is much harder quite often. It builds a lot more strength. And then when we've done the 2 on each side, we can either keep that left foot down or we might let it lift. Or we might just pulse a little bit, building a bit of strength in the hip. Stay nice and slow. And then once again, we come back to all fours. And let's just take a very brief child's pose. Forehead comes down. Maybe you rest it on your hands. Just breathe into the back body. The human body at peace with itself, more precious than the rarest gem. Just see how you are in your body. Stay softening again on exhale. And remind yourself this pose is here for any time you need it. You might stay here as long as possible, or you might be ready to come into downward dog. So in downward facing dog, lift up the heels, press them back down again. Bend and stretch the calf muscles as you bend opposite knees. And then drop into stillness for 3 full, even, deep breaths. Spread your hands, spread your toes. So coming on to all fours, we'll make it more gentle if that's what you need. Otherwise, we're going to ripple forward like a wave into plank. So pull your tummy and lift up the shoulders, lower the hips, shoulders over wrists, and then bend the knees as you come back down again, back up again. It's like a wave-like motion. These are called Shakti rolls. Just come forward and then back. And again, we're not in a rush, really feeling the body. Next time you're in plank pose, stay there as you press the heels back, lengthen the spine, lift your tummy, and take 2 breaths here in stillness. And notice the quality of breath. Can we stay soft when things get challenging? And then let's roll down onto our knees, then our thighs, then our hips. And we're going to come into a locust variation. Take the hands behind you and spread them flat next to your hips. And as you press the hands down, lift the heart only. Breathe in here. Exhale, come down. Repeat that or lift the feet up this time too. Breathing in, use the hands, press them down. Come back down again. Final time, we're lifting up the hands as well. Reach back for the heels as the heart lifts, the toes spread, and breathe into this long spine. One more breath if you can. Beautiful. And then just make a little pillow for your head with your hands. Drop the hips and sway them out. And press into the hands, bend the knees. Slowly let's come back to downward facing dog. And breathe into the whole body. So we're going to do one of those shapes now that we've just done on our back. As we breathe in, take that right leg back. Inhale, lift up the left heel. Exhale, press the left heel down. Do that one more time. And back into those hamstrings. And now let's take the right foot to the outside of the right hand. So we just did this as happy baby. So we're doing it upwards now, half happy baby. Lengthen the spine as you bring the toes forward. Kick the heel back and start to straighten the right leg. You can do this with the back knee dropped. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, explore straightening the leg. 2 more times without hardening. Can you stay soft? Final time. And this time as you come forward, we are dropping the left knee and we're walking the hands a little further forward. And we might stay there with the arms straight, or we might bend our forearms, our elbows, and put the forearms down. All of this is without hardening. So lengthen the spine, feel sensation in the right hip. And now soften into it as you exhale. And do that 2 more times. Can we stay soft when it gets really tight and tense? And now let's wiggle those arms straight again and breathe in as you take a twist. Right arm rises up. As you exhale and lift the back left knee again, press the right arm all the way underneath as if you're trying to touch your left toes. Inhale, open your arm up. Exhale, reach for the left toes. Final time, this time stay with that right arm lifted, circle the wrist. And take the hand down and then come back to all fours or downward facing dog. So vinyasas do add heat. You might choose to miss them today and stay in down dog, or you might flow forward, coming into a plank pose, lowering to the earth. Upon inhale, you rise again. And on the exhale, you come back to downward facing dog, always optional. So pause here, look at your feet. Breathe in through the whole body. Breathe out, relax the jaw. Super slow, we're staying with that energy. Breathing in, left leg rises. Inhale, right heel lifts. Exhale, right heel down. Do that one more time. And this time as the right heel comes down, look forward and step the left foot outside your left hand. So just like we did on our back, but we were holding on to the little toe that time. And then come forward, come back, come forward. As we come back, we see if we can straighten the leg a little bit. But we keep that smoothness of breath. And now as you drop the right knee, we maybe walk a little deeper into this pose. And again, I don't like being told to smile, so just consider the phrase, pick the face you want as an old person and pull it now as you just sway a little bit, possibly come onto your forearms. So often we experience tightness like we might be now, and then we grip everything to make it go away. Can we soften as we exhale? See what that feels like. Visualize that left, all those muscles just dropping off the bones on the left side. One more very smooth, even breath. And let's come back onto straight arms. Lift the right knee, breathing in, left arm lifts. Exhale. We reach forward as if we're trying to touch the left ankle, right ankle, sorry. Inhale, we rise. And exhale, we feed it through. Final time. Just so slow. Next time that left arm lifts, we circle, we stretch the fingers. And again, we come into downward facing dog. And again, we decide, do we stay still or do we come through a flow? No good choice or bad choice, just listen to the body. 3 more full deep breaths. And gaze forward, lift up your heels. Let's do a little hop or walk towards the front of the mat. Breathe in, flat back. Breathe out to fold. So slowly do that 2 more times. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale to fold. And now with a tiny bend in the knees, let's open our arms out to the side like the sun rising, all the way up to the sky. Exhale. And just close your eyes. We're in what we call Anjali Mudra now, the prayer. Just feel your fingertips touching. And let this be a moment of gratitude as we expand our energy into where the thumbs touch. So drop straight back into your heart if your mind is suddenly kicked in. So we're going to move around our mat now. So think flowy. We're going to start at the front, but kind of turn around to the back. So breathing in, let's take that right arm, both arms up to the sky. As we exhale, let's come to a forward fold. Inhale, take a flat back. And now step back with the left foot into what we call runner's lunge. Press down into the feet, and as you rise up, the arms come with you and reach so tall as you inhale. As you exhale, drop the left thigh bone down. And I'm just going to change position, so I face you. As you inhale, lift up your left heel and turn long ways onto the mat into a pose called goddess. It's a really big squat. And reach those arms out wide as you inhale. Take your hands back to prayer. Big deep breath in here. And then come to the back of the mat, so you're back into a high lunge. So left leg is forward this time. Reach into your fingers, deep breath in. And then come back again into the squat. So take your hands to prayer, and we're going to do it a couple of times. And then come back to the front of the mat. Try that one more time. So exhale, squat, hands to prayer. Inhale out of the squat, turn to the back. Back to a squat. Back to the front of the mat. And reach tall now as you take a deep breath in. And step back to downward facing dog. So that's our basic pattern. We're going to add on to it. Take 2 full deep breaths into downward facing dog. And now decide from here, do you need to rest in child's pose, come through a vinyasa, or stay where you are in dog? So if you want to conserve the heat, miss the vinyasas out. And as we come back to a downward facing dog, take one more full breath in. And we're on the same side. So it's our right leg that rises, breathing in. Exhale, step back to a high lunge. Inhale, we rise. This time we take warrior 2. So we're still on that starting leg. Take a deep breath into warrior 2. And then reverse your warrior. Right arm lifts, left hand comes back. Breathe all the way into the right ribs. And take 2 rounds of breath here. Rise back up to warrior 2. Come back into the lunge. And we're just going to step the back foot in to meet the front foot. Pause at the top again, Anjali Mudra. And breathe into the whole body. So we're going to do that on the other side now, and then we're going to add on to it. And then we're going to really calm down. So breathe in, arms rise. Exhale, come to a fold. Breathe in, take a flat back. Step back with the right leg this time. And breathe your way up into a lunge. So a little bit more flowy now. Open up into a squat, arms wide, hands together. Then come to the back of the mat. Inhale. Exhale, back into a squat. Inhale to the front of the mat. So yep, more feel is in the hips. One more time so we all meet back at the front. Our only aim is to breathe fully and slowly. And as we come to the back and front of the mat, reach into your fingers so tall, take a full breath in. And let's come through again to downward facing dog. We rest in child's pose or we take a flow. So 5 breaths, we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. I'm going to be doing a lovely restful hip stretch later on. 2 more full breaths. Maybe you're moving, maybe you're still. Breathing in, left leg rises. Breathing out, left foot comes forward. Breathe your way all the way up to the lunge and drop into warrior 2. Reach into fingers, feel your feet, take a breath. Reverse the warrior, left hand comes back, left arm, right arm comes back, left arm lifts. 2 full deep breaths into the left lung. Notice if it feels really uncomfortable to slow down. Breathe in, warrior 2. Turn to face the front of the mat. Step the back foot in to meet the front foot. And press those hands together. So a different mudra now. We're going to come to the mudra of lotus. Let your thumbs touch and your little fingers touch and open the arms wide. So, fingers wide. So I'm just showing you on the screen now if you're not sure. So the lotus flower is a symbol of a new beginning. And the lotus only grows in muddy water. So it's a symbol of out of the dark, dank times, we can have this great beauty. So pause there, feeling the fingertips touch and breathe in. And take another breath. So adding on to the little flow we've just done, breathe in now, hands together, arms lift. Exhale, we come to a fold. Breathe into a flat back. Step back with the left leg. Inhale, arms rise up. This time, take the squat again and the lotus mudra. Breathe into the back, inhale, and I've missed a twist off, sorry. And this time we take the right arm forward, left hand behind. So we come into the lunge, but then we add a twist. Should have done that at the front, sorry. Inhale, high lunge again. Exhale, come into a squat with the lotus mudra. Back to the front of the mat, breathe in, and then open the arms wide. Twist. One more time in your own breath. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, a squat with the mudra of the lotus. I've done it again, sorry. Inhale, come to the back of the mat. Open your arms into a twist. So if you're confused, no wonder I am. Inhale, arms rise. Come back to the squat with the lotus mudra. Inhale to the front of the mat. Open your arms wide and just stay there now with those arms spread as we take 3 deep breaths, because making up for the side that we didn't do. And then come back into a lunge. Turn long ways on your mat again, but this time we take it into a very cooling forward fold. So slowly come down to the ground and let the back of the neck be long. Shake out the head and come back to this moment now as we slow everything down with our breath. Let all thoughts go. Once again, repeat to yourself, softening. Take 2 more softening breaths. And this is our last round of standing poses if you are sort of weighing up how hard to work. And then we walk away towards the front of the mat. And once again, we come back to downward facing dog. Once again, we make the choice to stay, to rest in child's pose, or to come through a vinyasa. So 5 breaths. And as we come back into downward facing dog, really fully inhabit your body with breath. Inhale, right leg rises. Step that right foot forward. Once again, coming into a high lunge. Inhale, warrior 2. Stay in warrior 2 for 2 deep breaths. And once again, we reverse the warrior. Just let space come into that right lung, deep breath. Then we come back up again, back to the lunge. And this time as we step in, we add another balance. We add our first balance. So coming into warrior 3. So taking the hands together at prayer or to the ground. And just kick back into that left heel. 3 deep breaths if you can, making the spine as long as possible. And we come to stand. So pausing once again, let's take the mudra of the lotus. This symbol of a beginning again, and that's what we're doing with every new breath. Close the eyes, feel the feet. So final round, and this time I won't make any cock-ups. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, long, flat back. Step back with the right leg. Breathing in, we rise up. Exhale, right hand forward, left hand back. So we're adding that twist. Inhale, arms meet overhead. Then we come into the squat with the mudra of the lotus. Inhale, we rise. We come to the back of the mat. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, add the twist. Left hand forward, right hand back. Inhale, arm rise up. Back into the squat. So can we stay soft here as the heat rises? Back to the front of the mat, breathing in. 1 more round in your own time. Twist. Inhale, we float up. Exhale, we open into the squat. Inhale to the back of the mat. Exhale, we twist. Inhale, we rise. Final time, squat, squeeze those thighs. Come back to the front, breathing in. and an open twist. Take a huge breath there as the spine gets long. And this will be your final vinyasa, maybe. So hand down. Vinyasa simply means move with the breath. So it might be that you stay in dog, you rest in child's pose, or you take a final flow through. And well done for staying soft, as I completely ballsed up the instructions there earlier. So take a deep breath in. Come back to this moment. Breathing in, left leg rises. Step the left foot forward. Breathing in, let's come into warrior two. 2 full deep breaths in warrior two. Calming that breath down, and then we lean back again, extending from left waist to left fingertips, bringing in all this energy into our left side. Come back to warrior two, turn to face the front of the mat, hands to prayer. Let's come into the balance. All these things that can steal our peaceful stay as we wobble, that we're being mean to ourselves, just notice. And come back up again. And pause. Come back to the mudra of lotus. Open it at the heart and breathe into the whole body. So we're coming back to those earlier shapes we made as we were warming up, but we're obviously changing our relation to gravity. Remember, the point is to notice our mind. So when we get about it and feel murderous, just notice which thoughts we give our power to. So we did a lot of prep for this. So we're standing on our right leg as we bring the left knee up. So we've done this shape on our back. We've done it earlier. We're going to do it standing now. Can we hook onto our left big toe? Hold onto your right hip and elongate your spine. This might be where you stay, or you might see what it feels like to straighten the left leg. And notice already now if you're getting really annoyed with yourself, all those things we do, and can you just simply be where you are? And you might see if you can get your left leg out to the side. I'm just getting to face the camera. And when we're not brilliant at something on our first attempt, we can be really hard on ourselves and give up. So just notice and just try again. I'm breathing in, as Samuel Johnson said, or maybe Samuel Johnson, fail once, fail better next time. And then let it go. And now we're going to come back to warrior three. Take that left leg behind you. And can you come to a standing split? So folding over that right leg. A really tricky pose that often makes us feel murderous. So just notice. You might stay with your left leg up. You might hold on to your ankle, the right ankle with the right hand, maybe your left hand. And maybe you fall over and notice what you think, because that's all that matters. 2 breaths. And I promise we're going to rest our hamstrings very shortly. Let's drop the fingers, take the feet to the ground, and just sway side to side. And again, our thoughts have tremendous power. They also release chemicals. So what are yours doing? Bend your knees, slowly, slowly roll up. And remind yourself it's only yoga. So pause at the top. Come back to the breath. It may well have lost its rhythm now. So let the word be play that guides us here. Perfection is highly overrated, not that I would ever know. So let's pick up the right big toe with our fingertips and see if we can stay still. And that might be grabbing onto a sofa or a loved one, whatever. You might then play with extending the right leg. Keep returning to that really smooth breath. And you might explore taking the right leg out to the side. Again, knee bent is also a really smart option. So stay wherever you are. Notice all the blaspheming we do, calls to different deities. Come back, bring the knee in. Maybe we come back into a balance. So we extend that right leg back. This is our second visit to warrior three. How does it feel? Smooth breath, and then we come into the standing split. So we lift the right leg as high as we can. It's not parallel with the floor anymore. Maybe we hold the left ankle with our left hand.
Maybe the right hand, or maybe as the phrase goes, we come a cropper and we fall over, but just enjoy all of it, breathing in and breathing out. And drop the foot down. And we're done. Sway easily side to side. And then lower yourself down onto the back. Excuse me. So just coming into one active back bend today, and then the rest is completely soft. So your active back bend could be a bridge pose where you peel up the hips, you interlace the palms beneath you, or you might be ready for full wheel where you take your hands either side of your head and lift yourself up to a bigger back bend. Let your body and heart decide what you want, not the disciplinarian mind. So stay with your breath. And more importantly, stay soft. 5 more breaths, whatever pose you've chosen. And if your breath lost that smooth, even keel, and you see if you can return to it. And slowly, slowly, slowly roll yourself down. So what we're doing now is counterintuitive. Take your knees together and the feet will meet. But the phrase is knock kneed. Press your knees together as you rub the outer hips. Just give them a little bit of loving attention. And our legs now are like windscreen wipers. As we take the arms wide, we let the knees drop over to the right. How low can you get your left knee towards the ground? Slowly come back to center and let your knees come to the left. So the knees are not together here. They're much more like windscreen wipers. And our research, if you like, is how low can we get the back knee down? That's going to be the hip stretch then. One more time to the left. Now as you come to the right, so again, the knees are apart, let them drop there. You might pick up your right foot and take it on to the left thigh. So it's almost like we're using the leg as an anchor, and then press your left knee as far away from you as you can, lengthening our femur bone, and then just look over to the left and take 3 deep breaths. Again, are you now adding tension? We're so good at adding tension. Can we let go of that tension? Perhaps using the word softening as we exhale. And now 2 more breaths, much, much longer, much, much slower. And then slowly come back as we did at the beginning. So keep the legs in this formation. And as we come back, we're back into that supine pigeon. Can we lift up the left thigh and press the right knee away from you and just gently sway side to side. And then drop the left foot, drop the right foot. Bring those knees together and take the feet apart. One hand to your heart, one hand to your tummy. Breathing in. So just 3 side to side now. As you exhale, drop the knees to the left. Inhale back to center. Slow it down. Exhale, knees to right. Inhale back to center. And then bring the knees all the way over to the left. Pick up that left foot and take it to the right thigh. And lengthen that right knee away from you. And breathe. So you might be feeling this in the outer right hip. 5 full, deep, slow breaths, perhaps repeating, softening. And let these last 2 breaths be a feeling of releasing, as you say, softening. When we soften, we tend to dissolve tension, might even include thoughts. And then just wiggle everything up so the right foot comes to center. We've got the knees in this figure 4 shape when we're drawing the right thigh in towards you. And draw that right thigh in as you just slowly rock side to side.
So we're going to do a pigeon pose now. If you have any issues with your knees, you stay here in this shape. So drop the right foot, stay with that left knee away from me. If you haven't, we'll come up and we'll do it on our front. And if we are all together, we might as well start with the left knee so it makes more sense. So on all fours, we take the left knee towards your left wrist and we start to wiggle the right foot towards the right wrist. The right heel is going to rest on the right hip point. Lift up your toes now as you lengthen that right leg away and then soften the right kneecap and soften the back of the foot. Now flex the left foot because that protects your knee and keeps it healthy. As you press the hands down, lift the heart as you inhale. So this is upright pigeon. See if you can really start to soften that left hip area and take 3 deep breaths here. So this is a big pose, a good stretch for our glutes, our buttocks. Very good to ease out around the sciatic nerves. If you have sciatica, this is a really good shape. Now let's soften into pigeon. So we're going to come down. Maybe we stay on our forearms. Some of us might come and take the forehead down to the arms or to the ground. So explore softening here, because we can really grip if we're not aware. So first of all, soften your eyes, flutter the eyelashes. Now soften the chest, let it just drop towards the earth. Soften the muscles around the bones, around the left hip space. Soften the thigh, the knee, the feet. And we're here for 1 minute as you explore what softening means to you here. And I'm just going to sit up so I can watch the time. So stay with that fullness, that deepness of breath. And again, finding peace in this human body. And Eckhart Tolle taught us that if we're not at peace, can we be at peace with not being at peace? And that way we transmute non-peace into peace. If that's not too baffling, just consider that as you soften and breathe. So take 3 more very full deep breaths. Let them get deeper, longer, more spacious. And sigh out your last deep breath. Let it all go. That's how we dissolve our tension. So we're going to come into another pose now. So come out of this very gently. So we're going to lift up, drop onto your left hip and sweep your right leg in front of you. Now, there are choices here. Some of us might have the sort of hips that can come into Gomukhasana. So we take the right knee over the left knee. We sit between our heels. For some of us, that's just really uncomfortable. We grit our teeth and we have murderous thoughts. So in which case, we're going to cross our shins. There's no better pose or good pose. It's the right pose for you. And then wherever you are, breathe in as you grow tall. We intensify this by coming forward. You might not need to intensify it. So possibly you come forward and you surrender by bowing. And just notice what you're feeling. Can you soften into it with awareness and breath? And where can you let go? Is there one place that you're gripping that you can't quite put down? Explore softening for 3 more rounds of breath. And slowly, 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 slowly come up. And before we go side two, you might just do the sort of windscreen wipers again, but sitting up this time. So the knees are bent. We just move the legs side to side, super slow. We're trying to cool ourselves down, not add intensity and heat. And let's come into pigeon, the other side. So it's the right leg that comes forward. You might come from all fours. You might come from down dog. Bend the right knee next to the right wrist. Lift up the left leg and extend it back. There's a lot of tightness here, so be gentle, but so good if you do have sciatica on this side. So press the hands down, lift the heart. And this is why I think it's called pigeon. It's like puffing open our pigeon chest. I have a lot of pigeons outside this cabin that I teach in, and what I've noticed is they always say the same thing. Do, 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 do. And I always wonder what they say. It's like, I feel like I always say the same thing to my children. Pick up your pants off the floor. But just pause there, let everything drop, soften into the hips, breathing in and breathing out. And in a way, that's symbolic of us always having the same thoughts if we leave them unchecked. One more deep, deep breath, softening, softening, softening. And then we come down into perhaps a deeper expression. We can always stay where we are. We can drop the chin and gently move side to side. And then gradually we might come into stillness for 1 minute. So deepening the breath and softening on exhale. Again, just scan the body in your own mind's eye this time for where you might be able to soften a little bit more. Eyes, jaw, hips. And really fully deepen the breath. And just notice where those thoughts go. Are we like those little pigeons that just say the same thing all the time, all the time? And of course, for all I know, they might be reciting the words of Shakespeare, but just come back to this moment, this breath, and soften into it. Three more deep breaths, let them get deeper. Sigh the final one out. And then as you drop onto the right hip, let's swing that left leg back. So again, it might come forward and be knee on top of knee, or it might be you're crossing your shins. Doesn't really matter. Just be at peace. So grow tall as you inhale. Drop the hips a little bit. Notice the gripping there. And you might stay here again, or you might come to a fold. And just where can you let go and soften just a little bit more? About 4 more breaths. And very slowly come all the way up. Now let's come to lie on our backs again now. Let's just bring those knees together again and feet wide. Just rub the hips again. So we've already done our twist, but we'll finish with just the same twist. So you might notice things have changed. This time take your arms overhead as you drop the knees to the right. So you can pick up the right foot again or leave it where it is. Just lengthen the left knee away. Hold on to the left wrist this time and just lengthen the left side of the body and take 3 deep breaths into your left arm. And every breath out, just say something. You're not gripping your wrist, not tensing your hip. Just focus on the breath in the left side. And really mindfully, slowly unravel.
Let the knees drop to the left, pick up the left foot. This time we hold the right wrist as we lengthen the right side of the body. Breathe into the right lung. Softening on exhale, soften the shoulders, soften the right hip. 2 more full deep breaths down into your right side. And slowly, slowly come up and bring those knees in towards the chest. Just ease out the lower back with a few little circles one way and then the other. And now let's come into Shavasana. So feet extend out or knees bent, if that's better for you. Palms resting by your side, or maybe they rest on your tummy. Try not to let the hands touch. Ever so lightly tuck the chin. And then come to stillness. And of course, we're never still. There's always a subtle flow of energy in the body. And can you really stop now? And a poem you may well have heard before. I say it many times, but finishing with this very short poem by Kurt Vonnegut. Be soft. Do not let the world make you hard. Do not let pain make you hate. Do not let the bitterness steal your sweetness. Take pride that even though the rest of the world may disagree, you still believe it to be a beautiful place. So softening now into the whole body as you congratulate yourself for taking this time today. And can we breathe that feeling into our heart, just as we began, the feeling of gratitude? This is an abundance practice, so breathing gratitude to the center of the heart. How does that feel, that emotion feel in your body? Breathe out as you soften everything, the shoulders, the face, the jaw, hips, thighs, calf muscles. Breathe in gratitude, expansion. Breathe out softening, receiving. One more time, breathe in gratitude, breathe in love. Breathe out softening, softening, softening. And just take a few minutes to rest now until you hear my voice again. And start to lengthen your breath, breathing back into this human body at peace with itself. Feel that sense of expansion the inhale brings, the softening that the exhale invites.
And tap into that for 3 more rounds. And some days it's just really good to stay here a little bit longer. That might be what you choose to do. Or you might wiggle fingers and toes and slowly come back into your body. And the poem also later on says that the human body is one with difficulty. So again, gratitude for this body. And then we might slowly rise back up to a seat unless you've chosen to have a little snooze and stay there longer. I would really invite you to do that, especially if it's a hot day. So closing the practice now, but stay where you are. Let's take one deep breath in as we sweep the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, bring everything back to your heart. And can we live from there today? Namaste.